We're gonna get started in a few, y'all. We're not gonna be long. I'm not gonna hold you long on this Friday, but I just wanted to hold some space for everyone. Welcome. Okay, no problem, bro. I am just vibing, y'all, today, but I wanted to hold some space for everyone and give everyone some tools. Like, I've been feeling the need to give folks some tools because it's a lot of folks telling you what not to do, but nobody's like telling you why. Nobody's telling you what else can you do. Nobody's giving you very few people are giving you alternative options to doing what you're so used to doing. Thank you, thanks King, nice to see you, thanks for coming through. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about what is the colonization of your wellness and aspects of mind, body, soul connection, and we're going to talk about how you can decolonize that thing and take action and really take back your life and take back your purpose in this day and age right now, because right now is the perfect time to do it. There are so many amazing wellness healers, practitioners, birth workers, root workers, spiritual leaders. There's so much going on right now, y'all, and so I just wanted to do my part to my tribe and say what I had to say, talk my ish, you know what I'm saying? Because I might not be a rapper, but I be saying stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, so I'm gonna turn the music down. Y'all give me a second, okay? I'm gonna turn the music off, but all right. Hey Google, off. Yeah, we got like 50 million Google Homes at my house, so whatever. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to give thanks for this time. I want to give thanks for this energy that I'm sharing with you, that you're sharing with me, for just giving me your attention. So thank you. I want to just offer greetings to everyone who is logged in today. I pray your wellness and I pray your abundance and I pray nothing but divine blessings for you. Ashe, ashe, oh. Okay. So that's first, always. I also want to do a disclaimer real quick. So first and foremost, I am you're so silly. You got the power to, queen. All right. Okay, so I am, disclaimer, I am not, welcome sis, thank you for coming. I am not a medical professional. Okay, so nothing that I say is for or against the medical field. Second, I come from an traditional African perspective and lineage. That does not dismiss or disregard other traditional, indigenous, and or otherwise non-traditional and indigenous people groups. So I'm not speaking against anyone else. I'm just speaking about from my perspective and my experience. That being said, take what you want. That's great. Leave it on the floor if you don't want it. That's great too. This is just me talking, telling y'all how I feel, what I'm doing, what I be doing, what I study, what I work through, how I work with people, how I connect to the universe on many levels, whether that be my own personal level, my professional level, my academic level, whatever it is, right? So that's just letting that be known. Disclaim has been said. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move. So today's topic, if you did not read the flyer, it is declaring your independence by decolonizing your wellness. So I'm gonna be factual with y'all, but I'm also just be real with y'all. Okay, so a little bit about me, for you guys who know me in many different walks of my journey. So this is my personal page. This is not my business page. So for you guys who know me personally, because I don't just add folks on my personal page usually is private because I like boundaries. Okay, boundaries are important. So just about me, my name is T Luna, Imhotep, or Tyranny, for you guys who've known me since I was growing up or whatever, because I got folks that I know personally, but business wise I go by Luna. T is just the name that everybody just always gave me. So that's basically how that breaks down. I go by T or Luna or Tyranny. It's your choice. Do your thing. So a little bit about me. I have a master's in divinity. I have a bachelor's degree in religious studies. So I have an academic background in spiritual development and also religious understandings and cultural backgrounds within the confines of religion, anthropology, sociology, women's studies, gender studies, things like that. Okay. All right. No promises. But also I am a holistic health practitioner. And so you see a few, I got like my stuff hanging on my wall, because why not? It's my room. So I'm a wellness practitioner. I am a trained and certified naturopathic clinician, completing and finishing up my certification as a traditional naturopath. I am a Kemetic Reiki practitioner. I am a womb wellness practitioner, women's health practitioner, and coach. Hey, baby Julian. I am a sister and an auntie and a godmom to many beautiful babies, which is a blessing in my life. I also am a what else? Many different things. I'm a facilitator. I'm a holistic, emotional wellness facilitator, which is, hello, peace, welcome, is really just a part of my journey as I have sought to heal my own personal trauma, my own personal traumas in my own life, and how I help others do the same, particularly when it comes to women of color, queer people of color, really understanding the body as being born female or identifying as a woman, and also the queer body and how we associate all of that with our connection to the divine. Thank you. So yeah, that's what I do. So how I mingle and intertwine and integrate my academic background as with a master of divinity with my background as a holistic professional is about bringing people in union with their divine being and reminding everyone that all bodies are holy and worthy of divine love. And that's just, yeah, that's my thing. I will talk about that forever and a day. So yeah, so that's why today's conversation is about decolonizing your wellness. So what is colonization? So now colonization by another name is called gentrification. Colonization by another name is called, what is that? Expansion, or whatever else people want to call it. When they go to different places and they want to say, hey, this land is our land, this land is your land. No. Well, we've been taught that, right? But really, that's what colonization is, when you take something from someone that really wasn't yours to begin with. So we have a very important place to be in this time, right? Especially as Black and brown bodies of color in the world, in a time where we're really asking, begging, and demanding people to see us, others, beings, to see us and value us as human, right? That's all that's being asked right now. That's all that has ever been asked, is that others fully see and acknowledge the humanness in each and every one of us on this planet, that no one is greater or less than another, that everyone is holy, that everyone is sacred, that everyone is worthy of love divinely and with each other, right? Okay, so the first way we're going to talk about how we can create value within ourselves, because value has been stripped away from us. Again, I'm coming from a Black and Indigenous perspective as of today, right now, right? So how you can create value in your being, how you create value in your body, and how you create value in your brains, right? So I put them in the 3 B's because it's easy for people to remember things like that. So being, body, and brains. So that is the mind, body, soul connection that we're looking for. That is the soul, body, mind connection, really, because it really goes in that way. Everything is as above, so below, right? As within, so without. So we tend to not start with our spiritual connection first a lot of the time, because sometimes a lot of us have a big struggle with that. And so I want to talk about how your wellness and pertains to your spiritual wellness has been colonized, right? So especially for people of color. I'm really clear. Okay. So our wellness as people of color and Black people, Black and brown folks in this world, was first colonized by, we think that it was colonized by your body being, stripped or whatever it is. But no, the first colonization of someone's spiritual wellness is by stripping away your connection and from the image that you have of the divine. That is the number one way that colonizers have colonized your spiritual wellness, by stripping away the image of the divine to match how you see yourself, by making the image of the divine something that doesn't look like you, and telling you that is what God looks like. That's whatever source that you come from. Or do you come from it? How can you see yourself? That's where the question comes from. How can you see yourself in an image of the divine that doesn't look like you? And that is how your spiritual wellness was first colonized. And so that, we know the history of that. That comes from taking away, people's images and people's idols and people groups, ways that they worshiped through nature, which really is what it is. Anything that has been deemed pagan or deemed witchcraft, anything that has been othered outside of the modern norm of religion has been othered, and those things have been called bad and demonic, and all of that have been put negative words and feelings and connotations around that, saying that that's evil, saying that it's satanic, saying that it's demonic. And so when so that has been stripped from people, and so you no longer see yourself. You no longer are able to connect yourself, how you see it yourself in this flesh, in this vessel, to how you see the divine, to how you experience nature. So first and foremost, people groups around those are people groups that are people of color and indigenous groups, and not just people of color, but humanity has started with our connection with nature first and foremost since the beginning of time. We've always associated the divine and our relationship with the divine in prehistoric times, and even still today people are continuing to do that, because you can't strip it from it. It comes from your connection to nature. So how you see a tree, how you experience the sky, how you experience the sun, how you experience the ocean, how you experience the river, how you experience everything is connected to how you feel and connect to Source. Source gave us and has blessed us and has provided for us everything, and it all is in nature. And so that is how we connect to the divine. So stripping someone from nature, stripping them from their imagery of themselves through the divine and through divine images, that is how folks have been colonized in their spiritual wellness. How do we fix this? Because everything that I'm talking about, I'm going to give you how you fix that. Hey sis, peace. Okay, no problem. So how do you fix your connection to your spiritual wellness? How do you decolonize your spiritual wellness? You, by reclaiming your divinity, by exclaiming to the world, by exclaiming to others, by talking to folks that you love, by talking to your family. I am divine. I am divinely perfect in how I was created in this world. And if I choose to express that divinity by connecting to traditional religions or spirituality, how by practicing my spirituality in a certain way, by using tools in nature, Palo Santo, by using things that were given to me by the source, essential oils, herbs, by going out and soaking in the sun, by talking to the moon, by going in the water and saying thank you mother ocean for providing, thank you for allowing me to see that my being can be as expansive as this ocean that I see, because that's all it is. All things in nature are there to show us that we are one with nature, that we have the same capacity and ability, that we have seasons, that things change, we have an ebb and flow, that we have phases of the moon, phases of nature. We see how nature is unpredictable. Yes, that is the emotion that we have within us, right? We have phases where we go through phases of light to dark and dark to light in every aspect of our life. That's all we need to do, really. And to decolonize your spiritual wellness is connect. Reclaim your divinity by connecting to your spiritual source. So that be nature for some of us, that be going to traditional religions for others. Yes, pouring libations. Yes, going back to traditional ways that were never lost to us. Let's be clear. When you grow up in the hood, or you grow up and they always say, let me pour this out for my homies. That is pouring libations. We never lost these traditions. We just had to hide them in order for them to survive. Okay? So that's being said. These things are not lost. We just have to go and unveil them and live them out unapologetically. So the second aspect of this is by revaluing and valuing your body or your physical wellness. So how do you decolonize your physical wellness? So how was your physical wellness colonized in the first place? Let's talk about it. So at some point in time, almost every body of color, whether that be black, brown, yellow, whatever it is, and even white and even pink, whatever color people want to be, has been placed a price upon it and told its worth by how much it would sell in somebody's marketplace. Okay? So when a price is placed on your ancestors' bodies and you're removed from your land of your foremothers, your connection to how you value yourself and value your health and wellness and on the physical means has been dismembered and totally disconnected. It is so difficult for people to be able to find value within their own personal worth when they're no longer seen as property and no longer seen as valuable, right? So let's just go ahead and say that. So when you come from a people group, wherever people group it is, because almost every human people group has been enslaved some point in time. Hey, my love, whatever. So when there has been a price placed on your being, on how worthy you are to be sold to the highest bidder, come on somebody, then how you value yourself is always going to be, and how we have continued, how we have been passed down from lineage, from generation to generation. It's called epigenetics, folks. Epigenetics. Inside of you, your worth has been put a price on it. So then that's why we live in a society where if you could be the best entertainer has now been this new form of enslavement. I'm saying what I want to say. So I'm going to say that entertainment has become this new form of enslavement. Okay, so when you can go to the highest bidder of who's going to value your skill set and sell yourself, or as Caroline Miss says, it's a certain archetype. It's called the prostitute archetype. How much are you willing to sell yourself for? Okay, then that is yes, indeed. Yes, and shuck and jive, juke it, exactly. And how much are you willing to sell yourself for in order for you to feel valued, in order for you to feel loved, in order for you to feel seen, in order for you to have a sense of appreciation? That's how your value increases. That's where appreciate and value comes from, right? So that all is a colonized perspective of your physical wellness. All right, so how do you decolonize your physical wellness? It's simple. It's by, one, diving in deep and finding in your own personal self-worth, valuing yourself enough to where you do not keep selling yourself to the highest bidder. Okay, you don't sell yourself to the highest bidder. It's just no point, because there's nothing that's ever going to be worth you. Know that there is, and I remember thinking this when I was coming out of grad school, when I was trying to get a job, and it's like, dang, nobody's ever going to really pay you what you're worth. And that's how I had to become an entrepreneur, and it has not been easy. But one thing's for sure is that no job is ever going to pay you what you're worth. It's never going to pay you for the time, the energy, the long nights, no education either. Nothing is ever going to pay you what you're worth. So you might as well do something that you love with all your heart and all your soul, and that it is a part of your purpose to do in this world, because there's no monetary worth on what you came here to do. Okay, the only thing that's going to give you that value is feeling fulfilled in every aspect of your life. So doing something that you place value in, not that someone else place value, is a one way to decolonize your physical wellness. Second, I'm gonna give you two. Reclaim your birthright. And this comes from my identity as a Pan-African and as a Pan-Indigenous and all of that. We need to start reclaiming our birthrights. So think about it. The people, the Israelites, how people feel about that, and people who, Hebrews, Jews, whatever, when they started claiming their birthright, what did they do? They said, we're going to recreate Israel, and we got the right to be there. We got the right to send our kids back. China did the same thing. Okay, your birthright is, if you're of Chinese descent, you could come back to China, and you could do this, you could start a business, you could get educated, you could do all of this. People do this. Reclaim your birthright. So I'm not saying everybody's supposed to go back to Africa. That's just, but for me, that's how I feel. But if you know that your birthright is indigenous to this land we call the Americas, Turtle Island, then reclaim your birthright. Become independent of this nation if you believe that that is something that you're owed as a human being. Become independent in this nation. Start land, get land, build a community, build your family, and don't apologize for it. You have the right to fight for what's yours as a living human being, and something that has been stripped away from you. You have the right to fight for it and reclaim it. So reclaiming your birthright, whatever that looks like, figure out what your birthright looks like for you and reclaim that thing. So again, how you decolonize your physical wellness is by creating what is valuable within yourself, and pursuing something that continues to strengthen and affirm the value that you have in your purpose. And second, reclaim your birthright here on this earth in your lifetime. Stop waiting for someone to do it for you. You do it within your means to do so. You do it. Waiting around for it ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, we can wait, we can save, but at some point we gotta be about that action. Okay, so if your plan isn't to be a free autonomous being one day, then I don't know what you're doing here, because at the end of the day, you still gonna be a slave. I'ma just say it. Okay, so lastly, the last way to the decolonization of your brain, your consciousness, your mental state has been done through how we have been educated in our system of education, right? So in our public school and even some private school education, whether that be a religious form of education, whether that be just a more academic form of education, we have been continuously colonized through our educational system, especially as people of color, Black, Indigenous, and other, people of color. We have been colonized. So when your right to experience an education that actually affirms you and that actually goes with exactly indoctrination, that actually tells you, oh, okay, who you are, where you come from, what skills you have, that actually go towards your genius instead of telling you you're not good enough, because we have a system that does the opposite. In our system, we have an education system that manipulates, indoctrinates, and determines someone's success based on a system that has a totally flawed system that does not help them within their identity of how they learn. So that is a system that only dictates how intelligent you are by how much you can read and comprehend something, how much you can how well you can pass a test, how well you can test. That's all this education system that we have within the US is created to do. It does not affirm someone's innate genius. Okay, so there are things that each and every one of us was born here to do, to give, and to be in the world, and we do not have a system that is created to strengthen that, right? And so we go through life doing what we think is right. Now, this is coming from somebody who has a master's degree. By the age of 25, I had a master's degree, and I did well. I made great grades. Everybody know, folks know that about me, T. Okay, yeah. But at the same time, what I saw as an educator, what I experienced as an academic was that, yeah, this was okay for me, but I've learned how to maneuver in these systems, right? But there are a slew of other people, those whom I love in my own personal community and my family and whatever, and also, children that I have mentored and taught and tutored for my entire life. I have been tutoring children since I was 13. I'm 30, okay? And I give thanks, Ashe to Nisi White, Marion White. She just passed last year. She was my mentor. She was the first woman she was a teacher for 30 years, and she took me under her wing when I was 13 and showed me that I was here to teach people. I didn't even know that about myself. She saw something in me that no one had ever seen, and I don't know who I would be had I not had that experience. However, what I also saw since the age of 13, when I myself at 13 was teaching 15 and 16-year-olds who were being held back, was that not everybody learns the same. Not everybody is supposed to have this, everything has to be the exact same type of education system. Some people are more textile and kinesthetic and they learn like that. Some people learn more auditory, and so they need story in order to do so. And so we don't live in a system that affirms those ways of educating and your mental state, right? And so when you don't learn the way that the system has told you have to learn, you are labeled. You're labeled one way or another. You're labeled slow, or you're labeled socially unacceptable in some way, shape, or form, right? And that label follows you for the rest of your life, and it changed how you interact with your own self. It changed how you see yourself. I've seen it in children. I've watched it. I've watched children who are in classes that are supposed to be special education, which is fine. Some people need that type of individual attention, and that's really what children are asking for. What children need and what they desire is individual attention to show you, for you to see and for them to see their innate genius, their unique genius, and what they came here to give the world. Okay, so that is the colonization of that. How we decolonize our brain health and wellness, our conscious health and wellness, our mental health and wellness, is by, one, affirming the genius that is in the children that you see, affirming the genius that's within yourself. Stop allowing a system that doesn't love your children and affirm your children to teach them. Okay, that doesn't mean you got to take your kids out of public school. But what it does mean is that if you're going to put your children in these school systems, you need to be reinforcing their education on this earth. You need to be reinforcing it. At school is not the only place a child should be receiving education and how they feel about themselves intellectually and mentally, because it's unhealthy, right? So a parent, and if you cannot do that, then you need to strengthen your own personal mental wellness in order to be able to accommodate the growing hey sis, welcome, thank you for joining. That you need to be able to strengthen your own mental health and wellness in order to accommodate your children's growing relationship with their mind and with their capacity to learn, and be able to strengthen yourself, learn tools for yourself so that you can share them with them, so that you can build them inside of them. And if you aren't able to do that, find a community that can. Reach out to people that you see doing something that you would like for your children to be able to see. And more often than not, there are homeschoolers who would not mind creating small homeschooling communities. If a parent can do it, if you say, I gotta work, figure out how you can create community with someone who is doing what you want to do for your children. We have to do better. They came to us. Our children came to us. Your children came to you in order for you to be their advocate, in order for you to fight for their rights, in order for you to affirm their innate genius. Okay? So one thing I'm going to say, so I said that. Another thing I'm going to say is learn everything they hiding in these books. Okay? And don't just, and I'm not saying read, we spend our entire educational system reading books that we don't see ourselves in. Let's be real. We could spend 13 plus years reading Shakespeare every year and not read a lick of Maya Angelou or Nikki Giovanni or W.E.B. Du Bois or Langston Hughes. We could live a whole life and not do that. We could live a whole life, and I almost did, without reading Octavia Butler. Okay? Oh yeah, right, exactly. Oh, I know. We had to read that when I was in high school, and I only had one teacher that gave us that book. Lies my teacher told me. Without reading Octavia Butler? Come on now. No child of color or otherwise should live a life and not have read Octavia Butler. I'm gonna just say that. Okay, so it is about finding the right tools to affirm who you are. Awesome. That's why it is about finding the right tools to affirm who you are. So one thing that I did while I'm developing my course, Black, Queer, and Revolutionary, was I created my syllabus first. And then I found books and literature that I had never seen before that affirmed what I already wanted to say. I didn't allow someone, because, okay, one thing about getting an education is that we spend our entire educational lives being told what to think and how to think. And then when you get in a higher system, when you get in your master's program, when you get in your PhD program, then you're asked, well, what do you think? When you've been told how to think your entire life. No one ever asked you what you thought. So how are you then supposed to formulate your own thoughts and your own opinions when you've never been asked that in the first place in your entire educational system? You paid someone to tell you what to think. You in debt. Let me not go there. But you in debt to someone to tell you what to think. Okay? So what I'm saying is, Figure out how you feel, what you think, what you want to say, what you want to do, how you want to learn in this world. And that's the way that you could educate your children, is ask them what they want to learn. What are they interested in? What makes them excited to learn something new? And then reinforce that by finding literature and resources in order to affirm what they already want to learn, right? That makes sense to me. I had one professor in college, and my French professor, Dr. Knowlton, she used to say, y'all get to choose what you get to get tested on in a language class, y'all. That's why I ended up minoring in French. Not because I was good at French, but because I had a professor who didn't force us to learn what she thought we should hold on to. She allowed us to tell her what we wanted to get tested on, what we thought was more exciting in the information that we have been told. Come on. Children know what they want. People know what they want and what they need in their own life and what they need in their own destiny and what they need in their own soul contract. So that's what you should do on that one. How you decolonize your mental, conscious, and brain wellness is by having things affirm what you already know, your innate genius, what you came here to bring to the world, and strengthen that, okay? And the last thing is reach back and get it. Thank you for coming. Reach back and get it. Sankofa, okay? Remember your past. It is important, and it's called, and it's timely for us to start learning and remembering and growing in traditional ways of being. Now, people groups outside of our own have found value in our traditional information. Let's not get it twisted. We live in a society that goes and gets our traditional information and then resells it back to you, more than you can afford. What is called alternative medicine is traditional medicine, okay? Where people are paying $3,000 or more in order to get yoga certifications and go to naturopathic, become naturopathic doctors and holistic health and wellness coaches, or teach this type of information, is indigenous, traditional information, wellness, healing modalities, okay? It's a science to this that is achievable, that is attainable to us. But instead, we have lost the way to value these things. We have lost this connection of value within this, right? And we've been told, no, we have to reach this Europeanized or colonized, I'm not going to just call it European, but this colonized perspective of education, this colonized view of getting, of entrepreneurship, of business, of wellness, of the whatever the case may be, right? We've been colonized to believe that that is right, and that anything that is traditional and indigenous to us is not right? I'm not saying it's wrong, but sometimes it just ain't right. We've been taught through colonization to question what is actually natural to us. We've been taught to question whether herbs can actually help knock this cold out. You get what I'm saying? Stuff that, whether or not you could put onions underneath your foot. I mean, will that really work? I mean, if it doesn't work instantly, if it's not in a pill, if it's not this, we get questioned all the time. I know this. I've been in holistic health and wellness for 5 years now, almost 5 years. And I get so many questions. I get so many, people question you for herbs in a way that they won't even question a doctor for something that has, and this might have all these different side effects. When you watch TV, I might still need that. I mean, the side effects probably not going to happen to me. You will not question these pills that have a small percentage of the herbs that you could take that won't have any side effects. I'm not going to get too caught up on that, but what I'm going to say is go back and get it. Go back and get what is yours. Go back and get your traditional medicine. Go back and get your traditional spirituality. Go back and get your traditional way of thinking to your heart, to your well-being within yourself. She said, question more than a nuisance. Ain't that the truth? We ain't gonna go on that, sis. That ain't even no topic of conversation. But what I will leave, since it is Pride and since it is a lot of, it's a quarantine and all that stuff, folks getting busy, what I'm gonna say is be smart about your body. Okay, I'm gonna say that. My last 2 cents on that is how to decolonize your wellness one more time, especially when it comes to your sexual activity and whatever else you choose to do in your life. Be smart about your body. Value your well-being, and so much so that you value who you allow and what you allow and how you allow things to come into your being. That is how you, number one, straightforward, pop all of it, decolonize your wellness. All right, so thank y'all so much. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. If anybody wants to hop in, please feel free. I will leave it open for a few, but we don't have a lot of people on right now, so if anybody has anything to say, please feel free to ask. I'm here to open the floor for questions, and then we're gonna go ahead and log off. I say to everyone, thank y'all. Oh, welcome, sis. So I will try to save this somehow. I will try to save this somehow and upload it. But before I do that, I want to say again, if you don't love you, I mean, what else you gonna do? Because that's what you came here to do, is to love yourself. And so at the end of the day, you must value the aspects of your being that have been denied and have been deemed unworthy for too long. Love every part of yourself.